globalscaleradio.net.
It's about that time. It's about that time to get It's about that time. It's about that time to get
Button your lip, open your ears, strap on your thinking cap. Socially conscious talk that's entertaining with a dash of humor and the top sports stories of the week. It's time for Ain't No Half Steppin' with Marcus J.
Sellers has Jordan. Jordan with 2 seconds to go. Puts it up and scores at the buzzer. Michael Jordan has won it for Chicago. Manning lobs it. Burris alone. Touchdown, New York.
Down goes Frazier. Down goes Frazier. Down goes Frazier. He hits one deep to right center. That ball is out of here. The Yankees win the pennant.
globalscaleradio.net.
If you're lying, then you must be half stepping. No half stepping with Marcus J. Back once again for a live show. Globalscaleradio.net. Globalscaleradio.net's highest rated show is Ain't No Half Stepping with Marcus J. here on Monday night, November 26, 2012. The time is 7 p.m. on the east side, and we in for a live hot show. Get down with us tonight. Rep your squad. 804-447-0601. 804-447-0601 to be down with Ain't No Half Stepping with Marcus J. Co-hosted by your main man, Big Rube, Carlton Banks, which I'll bring in very, very shortly. Just to set it up for tonight, we got special guests in the building we're going to talk to tonight. We got the Dating Pool Diva coming in. We got another very special female guest that's going to join us for the duration of the show. So we're going to get it in tonight. We got the relationships tonight. So, you know, it's liable to get a little bit crazy up in here. So we're going to be doing that. We also got a bet that was made over the last few months. Ain't No Half Stepping with Marcus J's own Big Room, Carlton Banks, had a bet that was settled in Dallas, Texas on Thanksgiving. And we're going to get into that certainly here on Ain't No Half Stepping with Marcus J. Definitely excited about that. Of course, as we do every single week, we're going to profile a missing and/or exploited child, and we got Kdub coming in talking to us a little bit about the National Basketball Association, and we of course have a very brief sports roundup. So as you can see, we got a live show. We got a lot to get into tonight. 2 hours. We know you could be anywhere on the planet right now, but you chose to be with us tonight on globalscaleradio.net as well as on MixLR. So we appreciate the love. We appreciate our long-term listeners. Anybody that's listening to us tonight, you got something to say, get it in with us. 804-447-0601. So as we do every single week, we go around the room and we check in with the crew. We like to see how everybody's doing. I ain't seen these brothers since last week. I haven't seen the sister in a while. So we're going to go around, see how everybody's doing before we do what we do. And as I started off with my main man, Carlton Banks, I just look at him and I see him looking a little bit different than I'm used to seeing him. And if you're looking at the Ain't No Half Stepping with Marcus J fan page on Facebook, you understand exactly what I'm talking about. Carlton Banks, what's up, brother?
I'm here. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, you going to say more than you hear, man. How you doing, man? It's so good to see you this way. How you doing?
No, it's not good to see me this way. I'm glad to be alive and breathing above the dirt, but that's about it.
Yeah, well, I mean, you look good. It's a very, very nice shirt you have on today.
I'm about to throw up.
Yeah. Why don't you
No.
Why don't you tell the Ain't No Half Stepping Marcus J listeners how was your weekend?
My weekend was horrible. I ain't gonna have no leftovers. I ain't get enough to eat. That's just about it. Other than that, I ain't do nothing.
But it was Thanksgiving, man.
Like I said, I ain't get enough to eat.
You didn't get enough to eat?
I ain't get enough to eat. Don't have any leftovers. Didn't have any country ham to go with my turkey.
Okay.
I couldn't make a ham and turkey sandwich that afternoon later on at night.
You know what, brother? I've known you nearly 20 years, man. I swear, I haven't heard the kind of agitation that I'm hearing in your voice. I can't say that I've heard it in quite a long time. Is there anything else going on that you want to tell? I mean, listen, I tell you what. It's just us.
And the effort of full disclosure, the VEC is killing me right about now.
The VEC?
Yeah.
VEC. Okay. All right. Yeah.
Yeah, that's my anger right there.
Okay. Okay. Well, cool. Your anger is with whatever the hell the VEC is. Is there anything else going on with you that has you in a little bit of a pickle?
No, I like sauerkraut better.
Okay. All right. Well, fair enough. Obviously, I'm not getting anything out of this guy.
Yeah, exactly.
So
you won't.
I'm gonna move on to my main man, Big Rube.
What up?
Big Rube.
What up?
What's up, brother?
Everything's great.
How you doing, man?
You know, life is beautiful.
Yeah.
I mean,
How was your weekend?
my Thanksgiving was great. Spent it with fam.
Yeah.
You know, I ain't had to work on Thursday. Got double time on Friday. But the work day I really didn't want to work, but it was alright. You know, it was good though. This week, this time was good. It was good to see the folks and stuff, and you know, life was good Thursday. Definitely good Thursday. Spend time with the fam and stuff like that. So, you know, it was a good time.
It was a good time.
It was a great time.
Yeah, well, it's good.
I can't lie. It was so stupendous.
Yeah. Well, but without getting into any details, because we'll talk about this later.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
Did you have a chance to watch any football on Thanksgiving?
Man, that Lions game was off the chain.
That might have been the best game
Second best game.
Well, it was the second best game. Actually, for me, third best game.
Well,
because
yeah.
I saw a game last night.
Of
that made
course.
me pretty happy. But the Lions game, in all seriousness, we'll talk about that when we get to
Yeah,
that second.
yeah.
But that was a good game. So,
However, the New England game was such a slower.
there was another game in the middle. And
We can talk about that right now, 'cause that's not fair.
we can talk about that later.
Yeah, definitely.
We can talk about that later. So I want to take this opportunity to introduce one of our very special guests joining us for the very first time on Ain't No Half Step with Marcus J. We got Miss Toyana in the studio with us. What's up, girl?
Hello.
How you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm around some nice looking men up in here talking about some football.
That's what I'm talking
Somebody
about.
punking out on the corner, but it's okay.
Make sure
You're
I
brand
get-
new in here. just realize that you're brand new in here. That's all I'm
You
gonna
know
say.
what? But you know what though? She fits right in. So how was your holiday?
It was really blessed. Too bad I wasn't with my family and my friends in Charlotte, North Carolina. So any Carolinians out there, hello.
Go ahead and wrap it up.
But I did spend time with my family and friends here in the VA. So I didn't have to, go without eating and all that great stuff. But, girlfriend is starving too. So interested to know about the football and how y'all guys thought about it. I enjoy, and I'm ready to talk. So let's get it on.
Let's get it on. Well, I want an opportunity to just kind of share my weekend. I had a great weekend. Finished working on Wednesday. Didn't leave my house again until Saturday evening. It was great. Saturday afternoon, rather. So it was great. I was chilling. I didn't do anything. I didn't go anywhere. I watched a lot of football. Watched some basketball. I had an opportunity to kick it with Mama J. So, around the crib. So it was cool. I didn't do anything. It was a good time. I'm not going to waste a whole lot of time kind of getting into that. Couple of quick things I want to get into with regards to the sports roundup. And at this moment, I want to go ahead and introduce on the live line. We got your main man Kdub joining us as he does every single week. What's up, brother?
What's going on? What's going on, everybody?
It's good to talk to you, man.
What's up, Kdub?
As we do every single week, we go around the room real quick. I'll give you an opportunity to share with us. How was your holiday, man?
Holiday was good, man. Just shared it with my girlfriend's family, and just had a good time relaxing, man. Got out of the area for a minute, Got to get on the road and do some road tripping and thinking on the road. And had a good relaxing time, man.
Real quick, before we get into the National Basketball Association, there's two quick sports roundup stories that I want to kind of get into, and then we'll get into the National Basketball Association. The first one, the world of boxing lost a legend this week with the murder of Hector Macho Camacho in his home country of Puerto Rico. Any thoughts on that fighter, man?
Man, I wasn't necessarily a straight up a Macho Camacho fan, but it was kind of cool, man. You had a lot of flair, a lot of flavor with him, and he if I'm not mistaken, he did beat Sugar Ray back in the day.
Yeah.
You knew who Macho Camacho was to the point where when his son got into boxing, you knew who he was.
Right. You kept an eye on the son because of the daddy.
Yeah, exactly. So it's just kind of a sad situation that, from what I heard, he was the passenger in the car, and now him and the driver were killed by someone that they knew.
Yeah.
So at least that was what I've heard. I can't say that's a fact or whatever, but either way, bad situation.
The flamboyance was the thing with me. I always got a kick out of his ring entrances and things of that sort. So I think the world of boxing definitely lost a legend. Big Rube, any thoughts on Hector Macho Camacho?
It was really unfortunate the way it went down. Like you said, Hector, Macho Camacho, he did his work. It was time for him to, take that last fight.
Yeah, it's difficult for his family, and my condolences to them all. Anytime you lose someone suddenly, the older I get, the younger 50 seems to me. So 50 definitely is not somebody that's an old fella. He had a whole lot of life to live, and from what I understand, he was in the process of training to get ready for his next fight. So again, our condolences to the family. Want to move on. Next story is a basketball story, but it's not a National Basketball League story. And Carlton, I'm gonna get your opinion on this one first. Young fella by the name of Jack Taylor of Grinnell College. Last Tuesday, the day after we were on the air, this guy scored 138 points in a college game. 138 points in a college game. He took 108 shots to get there.
He was on fire.
He was on fire. And then, of course, that was a win, victory, 138 points. His next game was last night, which he scored 21 points in a loss. Now, I'm not into college basketball that much, and I saw the video of the college game. It was very grainy, which tells me that they're probably a very low-level college team that doesn't even get national TV rights. But it's still 138 points in a competitive game. What's your thoughts on something like that, man?
My thing is, where was the rest of the team and all of that? And what was the final score? Because it had to be like some kind of crazy type blowout.
It was like 173 to like 112 or something. Pretty much from what they said. He's a shooter, so pretty much at halftime he only had like 30 or 40 points, and he was a high hand, so the team just fed him the rest of the night.
Yeah.
How could be, but his percentage was less than 50%, so
yeah,
he was the hot hand.
It literally, that's a good point, Carlton. The fact that they just kept feeding the ball to him, Kdub. I know you and I talked about this one before. What's your thoughts on this, man? You the basketball guy. How the hell you score 138? Wilt scored 100 against the Knicks in 1962 or 1962, in March of 62 in Hershey, Pennsylvania against the Knicks, playing for the Sixers at the time. And that was, crazy, 100 points. And I think Kobe had like 81 a couple years ago. 138, bro. How does that happen?
I'm going to first ask you, do you want me to say it the way that I said it to you earlier?
Yeah, but use, remember that the tip jar extends to the ATL.
Regardless of him being a type of a scorer that he was, or he's a shooter or whatever like that, I put a lot of the blame on the team that they played. First of all, at some particular point in the college game, do you understand, in the college game, to have 30 at the half, how many times he actually shot? At some particular point, the coach should have put something in, put a box in one. We're just going to deny him the ball. You could have did a lot of different things. And then at another particular point, what you got to also understand is the person that's playing him, when is your competitive pride going to come in like, listen, I'm going to foul out the game? You don't necessarily go down as a team that gave up. He had 138 points at maybe like 100. And nobody thought like, all right, listen, this is ridiculous.
I tell you,
I'm sure that somebody on the team, kept track of what was going on, man. It was absolutely. I'm still astonished.
I tell you, I say it like this: if he was playing against the New York Knicks in 1991, he wouldn't have scored 100 points. And since we on the subject, why don't you tell the listeners what you're doing right now?
Basically, what I'm doing right now is waiting for the New Jersey Nets versus New York Knicks game.
Who?
And
who?
Get ready for the battle of NY.
Oh, okay. What Nets? Where the Nets playing now?
Oh, I'm sorry, the Brooklyn Nets.
Oh, okay. All right.
Brooklyn Nets.
So what's going on with the Knicks, man?
Right now, they kind of slid on a little 2-game losing streak, but bounced back against Detroit. Granted, you look at that as hey, they beat Detroit, but it was a game that they kind of needed to win just to go into this game tonight on a positive attitude, a positive mindset. Right now, like they're still muddling through the early part of the season. They're still waiting to return to Shumpert and Amari Stoudemire, what have you. So, they're looking pretty good, compared to the teams that they've played. This past week, and they got absolutely mauled by Houston. A week ago Friday, they got beat by Memphis. So, those particular 3 games that they lost, they didn't really look that good. But, you got to, at this particular point, 12 games into the season, you got to take what you can take.
As far as Carmelo Anthony, I know that we have been talking a lot about some of the foul calls that he has or has not been getting. We're Knicks fans in the interest of full disclosure. However, we're basketball fans first. Being honest, I'm seeing this dude not getting the kind of calls that a man that belies his talent level and his standing in the league should get. Now, I don't want to be the guy that's complaining about the officiating because we know that kind of stuff comes full circle. With that being said, you cannot let it get to you to the point where you let somebody get past you for a breakaway dunk.
Listen, yes, you're absolutely correct. My opinion on it, and I'm not looking at it from a Knicks fan point of view. I'm looking at it more from a league point of view. Is that he's one of the more marketed players within the NBA, and for him to not get a lot of the calls that a lot of, I would say, sub-level his play is. It's kind of eye-boggling. I mean, reminds me of when he first came into the league. As far as he's one of the few players, and it will probably make a stretch of me to find people to actually find 5 people that go to the rack or go to the hole as strong as he does, whereas he does not get a lot of calls. And for him to be a quote-unquote superstar in the NBA, one of the more marketable players, I would think he would get those calls.
Let's move on and talk a little bit about Brooklyn. They're on a similar winning streak. They're doing pretty well over there. Right now, if you look at the standings, you got the Knicks number 1 and the Nets number 2 in the Eastern Conference. What's the deal with that? I mean, tonight, is it just a rivalry game that we're getting that we didn't get a couple of weeks ago because of Sandy? Does this game mean anything other than supremacy in New York City?
It means a lot. Right now the Brooklyn Nets are 1 game behind the Knicks, who's in first place in the Atlantic Division. At this particular point, to be honest with you, yes, it is that type of a game as far as the standings. But it's about this is more like a pride. This is more like little brother, big brother. Carmelo Anthony going home. You got a lot. I mean, right now the New York area is just buzzing right now as if this was a playoff game. It's real good. The Nets do look like they are a better team than they were from what we remember from in the past, the recent 6-7 years.
Let's talk a little bit about the rest of the league. A couple of real quick hits because we want to move on to the more pressing items. I see the fellas in here getting restless. I know what they want to talk about. But I am interested in what's going on with some of the Ms. Toyana is getting a huge kick out of Carlton Banks over here, who refuses to. First of all, for the listeners, because if you can hear the laughter going on in the background, Ms. Toyana and Big Rube are getting a kick out of Carlton Banks in here, who's having a very difficult time.
The pictures are legit.
The pictures are on Facebook, on the Ain't No Half Step with Marcus J fan page. He refuses to acknowledge us. He won't look at us. He won't talk to us. He's only speaking to me because I'm sitting next to him and I'm giving him cues to talk.
Somebody on Facebook needs to stare
I'm calling him out because he's acting silly right now.
Somebody needs to call him out.
But back to business. You got a couple of cities that I want to just get quick hits on, and then we're going to go ahead and wrap it up. So let's start with Los Angeles. Anything going on with the Clippers, the Lakers, either of them?
Right now, the Clippers are they kind of cooled off at 8-5, but that still puts them at the top of the Pacific. The Lakers, for instance, they're 7-7, 500. We talked last week about the situation that was going on with the Lakers and the coaching change, so on and so forth. Like I said, I still think that at the end of the day, end of the season, the Lakers will be one of the teams that make the playoffs. But I believe that the Clippers are a better team. They on the road, they've kind of cooled it. They're 500 on the road. You know, at home they're 5-2. You know, they feed off of their energy, fast break dunks or what have you. But like I said, they cooled off a little bit. Whereas the Lakers, you know, the Lakers in their past 10 games, they kind of route the ship, but they're still at 500. They got to start getting the D'Antoni system, get everyone acclimated to that system. I think that they'll kind of be all right. They'll probably be at that you know, 6 to 8 position when they're all said and done.
The last question I want to ask you is about the defending champion Miami Heat, as well as the perennial champion San Antonio Spurs. I've been hearing some buzzing coming out of Florida as well as West Texas. What's going on with those cats?
They're 11-3. They quietly, once again, you know, if you're an avid listener to the show, you'll know that even last year I said the same thing in regards to San Antonio. They just mowed along. You know, before you know it, they're in like the 1, 2, or 3 spot at the end of the year. They lost actually Steven Jackson with a bad hand and what have you. He hasn't played in a while, and he's one of the intricate players coming off of the bench and what have you that kind of sets the defensive tone and the fast break for them. But they're sitting at 11-3. They're behind Memphis, which is 9-2. They really have shown a lot of their dominance on at home. But one thing for an older team, they're playing good on the road. I believe they only got 1 loss on the road. So, you know, San Antonio is one of the teams that's just going to keep going on, old players or what have you.
What about the champs?
Miami is rolling along quietly. I won't say quietly. You know, Ray Allen and Rashard Lewis have gotten real acclimated with their system, and they're leading their division. But surprisingly, you know, right up on them is Atlanta Hawks. You know, even though they lost a lot of their players, Atlanta Hawks is only a game and a half above them. But I would still think that Miami, even them being the defense, being the champion, that they're gonna you know, continue to be that one seed in the East and just continue on. They're a really good team. You know, we all know about Miami Heat. We all know about them.
We already know the deal with them. Ain't no half stepping. With Marcus J, brother, we gonna leave it there.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Go Knicks. Hey, let's do it.
Let's do it. Go Knicks. All right, brother. We're going to catch up with you next week. Ain't no half stepping with Marcus J. We're going to take a break. When we come back, Big Rube is going to have his opportunity to say what he wants to say to Carlton Banks and all the Dallas Cowboy fans. But not until your man Marcus J has his piece with regards to those Green Bay Packers and the rest of the haters in the NFC. Marcus J. Ain't no half stepping. Be back in a minute.
What up? This is Clay, a.k.a. Clayface, representing the Queen City, Charlotte, North Carolina. And I'd like to give a shout-out to Ain't No Half Steppin' on GlobalScaleRadio.net, featuring my man, Marcus J. So listen up, people, and tune in. Marcus, keep doing your thing, homie. Peace.
And for love's sake,